Governor Greg Abbott is mobilizing pastors in the push for his school choice initiative. This is Friday, March 14th, 2025.
Texas Scorecard presents the day's first news for the Lone Star State, the Texas Minute, with your host, Michael Quinn Sullivan.
Welcome into Friday. Thanks for starting the end of your week with the Texas Minute. Members of the state Senate want the Attorney General to again be prosecuting election crimes, but liberal groups are opposed to the idea. We'll have more on that coming up. A measure banning Chinese nationals from acquiring student visas is set to be introduced in the U.S. House of Representatives later today. Texas Republican Brandon Gill of Flower Mound is already among those members of Congress supporting the legislation. The effort's being spearheaded by Republican Riley Moore of West Virginia. He's focused on securing higher education institutions against espionage and intellectual theft. Attorney General Ken Paxton has opened an investigation into the city of Dallas concerning the Dallas Police Department's potential refusal to comply with state and federal immigration laws. The investigation was first reported by the Dallas Express. The AG's office believes Dallas might be operating as a sanctuary city by limiting cooperation with federal immigration authorities. Paxton said that DPD might be in violation of a state law that prohibits local entities from adopting sanctuary city policies protecting illegal aliens. Almost 4 years after the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals ruled that the Attorney General couldn't prosecute criminal election violations without the consent of a local district attorney, members of the Texas Senate are looking to restore that power. The Attorney General's office has argued that the Court of Criminal Appeals overextended its power in 2021 by issuing that ruling. Jeff Barr, who now heads the AG's Election Integrity Division, told senators that for nearly 70 years the office has had concurrent authority to prosecute election crimes through state law. It's been alleged that local Democrat DAs aren't interested in curtailing election fraud. The proposed legislation before the Senate stipulates that the Attorney General shall criminally prosecute election crimes if local district attorneys haven't begun proceedings within 6 months. It probably won't surprise you to learn that left-wing organizations like the American Civil Liberties Union and the Texas Civil Rights Project testified before the Senate that they don't want the Attorney General to have this power. Gee, I wonder why. The Texas Minute will be right back.
Are Texans playing the lottery, or is the lottery playing Texans?
Say, make money, money, make money, money, money.
There's an old saying that says, don't put the people who caused the problem in charge of solving the problem.
I'm Daniel Greer with Texas Scorecard. This is Rigged, coming March 19th.
In a speech at the Texas Pastors Policy Conference in Austin yesterday, Governor Greg Abbott urged faith leaders to rally behind school choice legislation and push back against what he called, quote, the government monopoly over education. Abbott framed the issue as a battle for parental rights and traditional values. He also pushed back against claims that school choice would interfere with homeschooling, calling those claims, quote, an outright lie.
Education began long before the creation of school districts. Education began long before the creation of the state of Texas. Education began when God created man and woman and when children were first born. The design was to have parents in charge of educating their children. A parent is a child's first teacher.
The Texas Senate has repeatedly passed various school choice measures in recent years, while the House has blocked those efforts. Again this year, legislation moved easily through the Senate. A majority of House members, all Republicans, have now signed on in support of an education savings account package. The measures being opposed in the House by Democrats and a small number of Republicans. You can get the details on all the stories mentioned today and keep up with the latest news by visiting TexasScorecard.com. This edition of the Texas Minute was produced by Nick Shepard and based on the original reporting of Valerie Munoz, Deborah McClure, Luca Cacciatore, and Brandon Waltons. I look forward to seeing you out around the Lone Star State. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for listening to the first news of the day for the Lone Star State. This has been the Texas Minute with your host, Michael Quinn Sullivan.